Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, but if you don't, I do hope that better things will come our way. Today, I would like to share about a story that combines two of the things that I'm interested in. The first thing being is, of course, the supernatural and the paranormal world, and the second one is about the dream world. To open this story, I would like to ask you a question. When you woke up from a dream, can you remember the content of the dream? Because more often than not, I wouldn't be able to recall any of the content of the dream, even though it's just a second ago. However, I almost always remember the feeling or the emotion that I had in the dream. So for this next story, not only that I can recall the feeling, the emotion that I had in the dream, but I can also remember the whole content of the dream. So, without further ado, here is my fourth story. Throughout my childhood, my family and I would often visit our relatives that live in a different province during school holiday. One of the reasons why we would visit them is because we wanted to visit my dad's childhood home. It's an old house, but it is still well maintained, well kept. It's the style of old Dutch house, and it has a huge warehouse at the back. I usually visit this house with all of my cousins, so there were 9 of us. We would visit this house and we would divide ourselves into one family per room, or the more fun part, female cousins and male cousins. I always feel uneasy whenever I visit this house. I think part of it is because it is an old house. But another part of it is because the house is always cold and it has these weird vibes. But then again, I was still young, I was a scaredy cat, and the rational part of me always tried to think that it's just an old house, but the irrational part of me keeps on thinking that wow, the supernatural things must be flourishing here. One night when I was staying over, I had this nightmare. It started off with me waking up. Yes, I was sleeping in my dream and I woke up in the dream. But yeah, so I woke up to an eerily empty and quiet house. Imagine there were 9 of us kids, but you woke up to a very empty house. No parents, no kids, nothing. So I started to wander off. I checked from one room to another, but I found no one. Then I went to the side of the house. When I went to the side of the house, I saw one of my cousins. He's the oldest one. He said, "Come with me to the warehouse." I was like, nope, I'm not going there because it's too creepy. But I think what set off the alarm for me is not because he asked me to go to the warehouse, but his eyes were glowing red. When I said no to him, suddenly one of my other cousins came to me as well. He just popped up, and then he also asked the same thing. "Hey, come with me to the warehouse." His eyes were glowing red as well. Whenever I said no or declined their invitation to the warehouse, my other cousins will pop up somewhere and ask me the same question or invited me to the warehouse. And each time I said no, I felt that I become more scared. So when I was getting ready to run back to the house, I could hear a gentle voice. It's from an elderly gentleman. I don't know who he was at that time, but I heard him say, "Hey, this is my house. You don't have to be worried. You are safe here. So don't worry about this." The moment that he finished his sentence, I woke up for real this time. When I woke up, I found my cousin sleeping next to me, and I could hear the house. It was livelier. I could hear people talking. I could hear my other cousins outside of the room, and when I opened the door, they were playing PlayStations. So everything went back to normal. It doesn't went back to normal because it was a dream, I know, but yeah, everything was normal. So I was like, it's a quite weird dream, but oh well. Later that day, I was lounging on the rocking chair. I was playing with my phone, but I got bored, so my eyes starts to wander to pictures hanging on top of the wall. I was scanning from one picture to another, and then there it was. It was him. It was the gentleman that came to my dream. I never really pay attention to the pictures or the drawings, but it got me interested because that was the gentleman that came to the rescue in my dream. So intrigued by this, I went to my dad and I asked him, "So who's that gentleman in the picture?" My dad looked at it and then he was like, "Oh, that's your great-great-great-grandfather." "Why?" I was like, "Oh, that's cool. But he was so confused why I suddenly show interest in those pictures because I never pay attention to those pictures before. But then I told him the whole story about my dream. The interesting part about this is that my father then told me, "You know, when your grandma married your grandpa, she came to this house for the first time. She always had nightmares too. And one day, my great-great-great-grandfather came to her dream. He said the same thing to her as well." And then I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but also kind of creepy. But it just means that he still protect us here right now. So I was surprised by it, but it's a nice surprise. So after my great-great-great-grandfather visited me in that dream, I never really had any nightmares in that house anymore. I still feel a little bit creeped out by the house because it is an old house and I'm just a scaredy cat, but I never really had any nightmares again in that house. But in retrospect, I'm just wondering, what would happen if I actually said yes to the invitation of my cousins to go to the warehouse? I mean, probably nothing because it is just a dream. However, I'm just glad that I didn't have to find out the hard way, I guess. But yeah, so that's my fourth story. Thank you for watching or listening to the video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And I would like to explore more about the dream world as well in the future because it is just so fascinating on how dreams sort of affected us in real life as well. Maybe the content of the dream might not carry it out to the real life, but the emotions, the feelings that we had in the dream, sometimes it sort of seeped out. So yeah, I would like to explore that too in the future. But that's the future me problem. It's not my problem right now. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. I will do my best to answer them all. And let me know about your answer for the first questions in the opening of this video, whether or not you can recall the dream that you just had. And if you can recall, would you kindly give me tips on how to do it, because I do want to explore that as well. But yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye bye.